let me guess. Right now, you're probably working a 9 to 5. And then after your 9 to 5, from 6 to 9, you go out and you're doing deliveries, whether it's for groceries, you're dashing, you Uber Eats, all of that. And you end up still broke. Now, someone else out there might say, you're lazy. A lot of YouTube videos might say, you're lazy. You need to work hard and keep on pushing and pushing. But how? How are you lazy when you're working all these hours and you're still broke? Even if you make $500 extra doing these services, with inflation and rent being so high and the cost of goods and everything being so high, it's going to eat that amount up quickly. And sometimes it's not even enough to get ahead. So listen, side hustles, it could work. It really could work, especially for short-term things that you want to handle. It certainly can. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But if you're doing it for like 6 months to a year, by all means, go ahead and do it. But if you think this is going to be for the long term to build wealth, you're sadly mistaken. Because what's going to happen is you're not working smarter, you're working harder. And eventually, you're going to burn out. Okay, listen. I'm one of the real finance YouTube guys that's going to give you the real. Everyone has videos talking about a side hustle, a side hustle. This is the way to build wealth. Well, I recognize that's not true. You see, let me guess. Right now, you're probably working a 9 to 5. And then after your 9 to 5, from 6 to 9, you go out and you're doing deliveries, whether it's for groceries, you're dashing, you Uber Eats, all of that. And you end up still broke. Now, someone else out there might say, you're lazy. A lot of YouTube videos might say, you're lazy. You need to work hard and keep on pushing and pushing. But how? How are you lazy when you're working all these hours and you're still broke? You see, because there's a big type of illusion when it comes to all these side hustles. Side hustles are sold as financial freedom, things you could do inside to build wealth. And of course, you do these things on the side with your free time, right? But how many of us have free time? A majority of us do not even work 40 hours in a normal job. Most of us work 50 or 60 hours. And by the time you come home, you are physically and mentally drained. You need that little time for yourself to recharge and do it again the next day. And say you're like, okay, screw all that. I'm gonna give the little time that I have in order to go out there and grind. But are you telling me that your relationships and just your mental health is worth it for just an additional $20 an hour? You see, you're not really building a life. What's happening is you're drowning in this boat and you're patching it up by using sticky notes. It's not going to last. There's other issues that definitely need to be addressed. And this is something that so many people told me about, and at the time, I didn't really listen. You see, I used to post videos, have conversations with certain people, and I used to say how much money I used to make doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Instacart. I'm going to tell you this, if there's anyone who's watching this video and did it 3 to 4 years ago, it was a pretty good hustle. Now, granted, taxes, wear and tear, gas, all of that, yes, it deducted the amount of money you made. But for some of us, it really was just fun and it was a nice way to increase your income. But when it's all said and done, that changed tremendously within the past few years. Some people now are not even making minimum wage while they're doing the side hustles, like delivering groceries. Most people are getting way below that. You see, there's a little secret that if you never did these delivery services, you're not gonna really understand. For someone like myself that did deliveries, the base pay is like $2 per trip. What you're getting paid on is the tips. DoorDash, Uber Eats, all those people are not giving you so much money. It's the tips that people are giving you. And we already know what happened. The tip culture became really, really toxic, so many people refuse to tip. And those side hustles are just not scalable. You can only work 80 hours a week for such a long period of time. Me, myself, I damn near did it for 2 years. I was really strategic though. I picked the times that I went out, the most busiest times, most opportune times, and made so much money. But when it's all said and done, I really got burnt out, and in the end, it really wasn't worth it. Now, if you're someone out there who has $1,000, $2,000 worth of debt, not a lot, then by all means, it's not a problem. But if you're someone that has over $100,000 of student loan debt, and you're trying to find a down payment for a house, you're trying to do all these things, it is a complete waste of time. And even if you make $500 extra doing these services, with inflation and rent being so high and the cost of goods and everything being so high, it's going to eat that amount up quickly. And sometimes it's not even enough to get ahead. So with that being said, all we're really doing is just fixing the symptoms. But what is the real problem? We're not getting paid enough in our main job. That, by all means, is the number one issue. There never should be a reason why we need to have a secondary job in order to survive. But most of these corporations know that. They know most people are not working only 40 hours because this whole hustle culture is constantly being talked about. So many people are supplementing their income by working multiple jobs. And with that being said, what happened is, as a society, we normalize getting underpaid. So if you're working 40 hours a week and your main job is not able to cover your basic living, then the problem is to not pick up a second job. The problem is with the job you're actually working in right now. So what do we all do during these times? What we have to do is just focus on our main job and try to find ways to get promotions, negotiate raises. You just have to sit down and have that conversation. If you're working somewhere for more than 2 years, then it's time to leave and switch to a new job. Is it easy to find a new job? No. But you know what's harder? Working, doing deliveries, getting paid a few pennies, that is a lot harder than one weekend spending time filling out your resumes in order to apply for a job that's going to pay you more. That right there is going to be the true solution. And if you're going to do a side hustle, you need to pick something that's scalable. Something, for example, like freelancing, that you can create a website and start selling services on your website. You could do YouTube videos. If you have a skill you want to teach people, go ahead and teach it. Extremely scalable. You post a video, you never know what happens. You might get monetized, it might reach millions and millions of people, you might be known as the best YouTuber in the world. Who knows? But that's something you could put at least some time and energy into to see what happens in the future. Now I will say this, as a YouTuber, you do not make any money in the beginning. Beginning you make no money, and it might take, to me it took 2 years to finally get monetized. And then you start getting something. Even with that money, because you hear so many YouTubers talking about they quit their job and they do YouTube full time, it's not enough. But if you continue doing it on the side while you're trying to focus on your main job, increase your income, you never know what can happen with the YouTube money. And if it's something you're teaching that you're really passionate about, it doesn't feel like a side hustle. It feels like a good hobby that you appreciate doing. And this is by far one of the best hustles you could do. Focus on yourself. Focus on your skills. Sharpen your skills. Educate yourself. If you're financially illiterate, guys, please learn finances. Find ways to make yourself way more marketable and to live life way more enjoyable. Life is already stressed out as it is. You don't want to try to add extra hours in a side hustle that you hate with the rain and living out here in Florida with the heat. It's just so much stress. If you spend time just watching some positive YouTube videos, finding out ways to maximize your income rather than wasting your time in the streets, risking yourself on having a car accident, that by far is one of the best options. And that's what I did. I pivoted. I started doing my YouTube videos and I started focusing more on my job to make my job a lot more easier and to increase my income. That worked. And I'm telling you this, man, I really did the side hustles and I liked it. I really liked doing it. But as I said, once again, so many people are saying so many comments like, this is a fake businessman trying to make money. And I didn't want to listen to them because it didn't make sense. But now it really does truly make sense. They are right. They are right. Especially during this time, it's so hard. Trying to get into Uber and DoorDash and all these places, everyone had ran to that. And due to that, it's really hard to get some rides now. So even if you're doing the delivery for picking up passengers or you're doing restaurants, whatever, there's so many people within the street now that you're damn near gonna get anything. And also what makes the matters even worse is now there's a waiting list because so many people are jumping in to these services. So now you kind of left really with no choice. All the side hustles that you want to do for all these gigs, it might be wiped clean. So now it's time to really look into your finances and your job and focusing on that because that by far is going to be the way to build the most income within your life. And remember, keep this in mind because I really have to keep this in mind as well. Especially if you're someone out there who's young and you just full of energy and you have this entrepreneurial spirit, you need to recognize this. It's not about how much hours you work. It's about how much the hours you work are worth it. That right there is by far the most important thing. If you're gonna work a 9 to 5, you need to make sure every hour that you work at that 9 to 5 is worth it. And by far that means getting the pay that you deserve. So listen, side hustles, it could work. It really could work, especially for short-term things that you want to handle. It certainly can. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be difficult, but if you're doing it for like 6 months to a year, by all means, go ahead and do it. But if you think this is gonna be for the long term to build wealth, you're sadly mistaken because what's gonna happen is you're not working smarter, you're working harder. and eventually you're going to burn out. So guys, drop a comment down below and let me know how you're doing during these times. Have you tried any of these side hustles, and how do you feel about these side hustles? I would love to hear it. In the same time, hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Catch you all on my next video. Peace.